Boom. Pow, 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 pow. Oh yeah, oh yeah. We in here like swimwear, some new gear. This all yeah. So it's an Indian summer. It's gonna get real hot. The truth shall be exposed. Tap your neighbor and say, neighbor, it's truth time. Neighbor, it's truth time. Oh yeah. We got the audio flowing. We in the building. Definitely hit the like button. I'm sorry, hit the dislike button when you come in. I hate Priest King too. Don't worry. Don't worry. I hate him too. Hit the dislike button, the unshare, and all that good thizzle thizzle. My darling Jupiter in the building. Oh yeah, Goddess Shelly in the building. Peace to the gods. Peace to the goddesses. Peace to the Americans. Today, oh, what a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Would you be divine? Would you be so inclined? We're going to get into the history, the historicity of Judaism. You know, yesterday I kind of showed y'all what happened to the Jews. You know, like kind of showed you how they got. I definitely showed you guys how they got expelled from Spain in 1492, and how that started the chaos of what we have today. So we're going to dig into the reason why you might want to kick some people out. There's a reason. You know what I'm saying? People want to act all innocent, and it might be true, it might not be true, but we're going to figure it out today. We're going to dive into the historical origins of Judaism. Because the joint, it got an origin, y'all. And we're going to figure it all out today. I know how I do. Don't you worry about a thing. First and foremost, let's get into some music, though. Because y'all think I'm just playing. I'm not playing. I'm barely getting started, man. I'm telling you, tag your neighbor and tell him it's truth time. Oh, yeah. It's truth time. Today's the day we get more truth. I don't get tired at all. Oh, I got to start that. I'm sorry. That don't sound right.
I was trying to get it out.
Let's go.
I want them dead presidents.
Let's go.
I want to pull up.
Let's go.
Get spinning.
It's truth time.
Get fly. I got 6 jobs. I don't get it. I don't get Get fly. I got 6 jobs. I don't get it. Four-time borders. Ex-guard said grind harder. Every time you ever fail, if it never fails, just grind smarter. Iron sharpen. You the dag on their hindquarters and they all acting. Rap game, I'm a pallbearer. Kill man, get a call after. First look, it was all after.
Come on.
They can't believe what they can't believe. Dive in the crowd, no safety holders. Got in the booth, no safety holders. Aiming, I shoot for the stars. Don't be a war, I ain't with no walls. Only meaning one thing, don't get time to go off. I was trying to get it out of here. I want them dead presidents. I want to pull up. Head spinning. Get fly. I got 6 jobs. I don't get it. I don't get that. I don't get that. I don't get that. Get fly. I got 6 jobs. I don't get it. I on a air mattress. We share a core. My hair never couldn't afford flights. No air travel. Still rice crispy like sand gravel. Walking testament of what can happen the moment you follow your heart. Keeping the faith even when it get dark. They can give up as I tell them get lost. 6 years ago I just purchased a car. Was like they're the one that you cannot afford. Right foot on the gas. Policy I can be accelerating. I'm doing the dance. Keep that I'm rich. Shorty be doing the shit and it's okay to say that she bad. Look to the right and I give her a glance. Don't be no break. Don't be no break. I was trying to get it out of here. I want them dead presidents. I want to pull up. Head spin. time to go hard. Don't play with the hustle, you eating your stuff. Don't let me pretend to just be who you are. Ain't always been like this from the start. Only meaning one thing, don't get tired, I go hard. I don't get tired. Play with the hustle, you eat on your stuff. I don't get tired. Let me pretend this just be who you are. Get fly. I got 6 jobs. I don't get it. I was trying to get it high. I won't get tired. I won't get president. I won't get fly. I got 6 jobs. I don't get it.
Yeah, I did. Bet you I won't get tired. Bet I won't get tired. Bet the Indians won't get tired. Yeah, they. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. All right, y'all. We're going to get into this thing, man. And we're going to make it fun today. We're going to make it fun today. We're going to make this fun today. Don't worry. Because you got to put on your thinking cap. I need y'all to put on your thinking cap. I need you to step outside of the normal to get this. I'm going to play, because you know. All right, so here's the thing about this understanding. Here's what you got to understand. Before we get into this, let's make sure we got this whole thing premised. Forgive me while I premise this. Now, I'm not going to premise it. You know what we're going to do? We're going to let the old head premise it. Let's go right into this thing. Yeah, we're not going to do nothing. We're going to let the old head do it. But so, what we don't understand is how Judaism and Christianity came together. I tried to explain that to y'all yesterday. You got to watch yesterday to really get here. How the Jewish people put the Christianity.
Whether you want to argue with me or not, you cannot argue.
Put the Judaism and Christianity. It did. So we peeped that yesterday. I showed you that yesterday. But now I want to show y'all why they did it. But I'm going to let Walter Williams explain to you guys the whole understanding of what we got going on. So give me 1 second.
Once you present facts, that ends the argument.
Okay. Let's let Walter set up.
Well, see, which topics are you talking about? The Egyptian topics. No, see.
Give me 1 second.
Traditional religious theology has nothing to do with realism or history.
Okay, here we go.
For Thomas Cranmer, who was the ecclesiastical spiritual advisor to Henry VIII.
All right, so we're going to let Walter Williams show you.
In 1583.
Show you the hookup, right?
That was...
He's going to tell y'all the hookup. Now, what's hard for people to understand about Walter Williams' information is how it all comes together. And he talks about one thing, but he doesn't explain how it comes together. And even when you buy his book, it doesn't explain the motive of why. So I'm going to show you the motive. I want him to explain it, and it's going to be a little confusing, but I'm going to break it down what he's explaining. I'm going to show it all to you, line for line. I'm going to break it down for y'all line for line.
So now, going back to where we're at now.
Okay, let's go.
So in 1610, they came out with an Old Testament Douay Bible, the Roman Catholic Church, which was the censored Bible. Now, going back to 1475, this Bible that was printed, which is called the Pentateuch of the Old Testament, was written for Christians. for the sole purpose of getting the Christian community who had been taught negative things about the Jews, getting them to begin to like and love the Jews, because in the Old Testament it tells you to love the Jews and that the Jews are God's chosen people. Is that true?
Not as far as I know. I mean, that's true in the Bible.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm talking about. I'm talking about I know you're talking about in reality.
I know that.
This is true, but I'm saying in the Old Testament now. We're talking about Old Testament written literature now.
Correct.
Okay, this is what is being taught in traditional theology is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So now, in 1611, after using a group of theologians to help him write what is known as the King James Version, I'm talking about Lancelot Andrewes and his group of theologians creating the King James Version. And when that happened in 1611, John was added. They wrote John. And in John, guess what, Reverend? Jesus was a Jew. Because if you get a Bible concordance and you look up Jew in there, they refer you to Jesus being a Jew in John. All through John. Not in the other three Gospels. And that was done on purpose.
No.
Okay, so now yesterday, I explained to you why something like that might need to be done. You know what I mean? Why the Jews might want to be friendly with the Christians, because again, they start converting. They had to convert to Judaism. I mean, they had to convert to Christianity or be expelled. You dig what I'm saying? So that's the reason that when you come to 1611, you have a reason now for King James to put the Old Testament and the New Testament together and make Jesus a Jew. All right, we're not dealing with Christianity today. We're going to skip that. We're going to get into that on the next one. Today, we're dealing with the Jews. So understand, yesterday, I showed you why you might want to have the Christians on your side, because if they don't like you and they don't like what your culture, if they don't respect your culture, they might kick you out the country. So now, we still don't know who the Jews are. Because again, we dealing in history. We're not dealing in religion just yet. We want to know the actual history. So everything I'm telling you, it all ties into Spain. We're gonna say, don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
The Tamil.
Of the who?
The Tamil. What the Jews, what they call the Old Testament. What was that? How did that come about? And what is the accuracy of that? When did that originate and become a instrument of teaching and the Jewish books?
Well, the Jews never had an Old Testament. The Old Testament was strictly written and produced for the Christians. Okay, I gave you a little historical.
They are books. I mean, let's start this one. Who are the Jews? Where did they come from? And how did they evolve in terms of the religion?
Okay, now, what I'm about to tell you, Reverend, no one on earth is going to tell you this. Now listen. Judaism, of the three major religions, is the third religion of those three. But they teach you just in reverse. They say that Judaism was first because they said that Jesus Christ was a Jew. So Judaism was first. They say after the death of Jesus Christ, then came Christianity. And then they're going to tell you that Islam is a combination of Judaism and Christianity. Historically incorrect. Because I'm going to tell you now. You have to know the historical origin of Judaism. It was a man by the name of Solomon Bar Isaac between the years of 1080 and 1100 who created the formula for Judaism.
Now, again, he's saying 1080 to 1100. Modern era. Again, all the stuff he's saying I'm about to prove. I just want to let him say it so I can prove it, so I can put it all together for us. My brother old head been saying this for a while. Nobody ever put it all together. But I'm about to, y'all know how I do. I explain it, make it like easy, make it like water, make it like a good movie. So we're going to let him lay it down, and then I'm going to put the flag in the ground. Like he said, he's the only person that can tell you this, and I'm the only person that can explain it to you. He said it, I'm going to make you feel it. Don't worry.
By creating Sefer Hayasa literature. Sefer Hayasa means, Sefer means books, Ha means of, and Yasa means of the upright ones. Books of the upright ones. Who are the upright ones? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Okay? Those are your upright ones. Later they added Solomon and so forth and so on, and other names. Now, what did Rashi, who is Rashi? Rashi was a Lombard. Let me tell you this, I'm gonna make a statement. You never heard the statement before. In order for anybody of any race, creed, or color to find the historical origin of Judaism as a religion, you have to know the history of the Lombards and the Templars. Then you will find.
So listen, the Lombards and the Templars, that, my friend, is the Crusades. I'm about to break it all down for you. He's saying this, but I'm about to break it down for you. Don't worry. It's all laid out.
The historical origin of Judaism. You got to remove yourself from believing in traditional religious theology as being taught by these various religions. Yep, that's what you have to cease doing. See? So Rashi created the formula for Judaism by creating
Peace to the gods.
Sefer Hayasa literature, which is the base foundation of the Torah. The Torah is handwritten, used by a rabbi to teach the believer. Okay? The believer has to learn what the rabbi is teaching him from the Torah by way of memory. That way, that individual internalizes the laws, the rituals, the customs, and the ceremonies of Judaism. So you have to start there first to understand where these Old Testament literature and Bibles come from. Then you got to study Rashi.
Let's start there then. We got to study Rashi. He just said we got to study Rashi. So let's dig into who the hell is Rashi. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Priest King's amazing studies. You know, we're the God class, the God school. We back in God school, but this is weaponization. Because we got a bunch of silly, billies, Hebrews out here acting like they got something. And they don't know nothing. They don't even know who Rashi is. Let's talk about Rashi. They say this is the JewishHistory.org. Huh? This is the Jewish history. And they're going to tell us who Rashi is. Y'all want to go back and find out? Y'all want to go back in time? The foundations of Ashkenazi Jewry in Western Europe and the later Eastern Europe are really essentially the story of one family, the family of Rashi, an acronym for the name Rabbi Solomon ben Isaac. That's what Professor Williams just said. They agree that the whole Jewry can be traced to one family. How do you trace everything back to one family? Okay, they can. Many scholars in more popular books, articles, treatises, and biographies have been written about this giant of the ages. Yet to a great extent, he remains elusive, almost mysterious in his role as the teacher of Israel. So Professor Williams said this guy started it all. You go to the history of the JewishHistory.org and they call this person the teacher of Israel. Still, if there is anyone in Jewish life that has achieved immortality, it is Rashi. No Jew who studies the Torah or the Talmud does so without Rashi. Huh? No Jew in the world that studies this book does it through this guy. So this is who Doc is talking about. Okay? Rashi is the guiding hand. Huh? Sound like a writer to me. The gentle teacher, the unobtrusive commentator who simplifies, explains, and inspires all who study the Torah. Huh? Somebody tag a Hebrew and ask them if they study the Torah. Somebody tag a Hebrew, ask them if they study the Torah. Ask them, do they know Rashi is the hand that's guiding them? Huh? Tradition holds that he was a scion, a son of the royal family of King David. Huh? He was born in 1040 in the city of Troyes, which is about 25 miles from Paris and wine growing northern part of France. Now y'all got to pay attention because yesterday I told y'all what language they speak in the northern part of France. They don't speak what we call French in the northern part of France. They speak Dutch, right? Dutch and German. So let's find out where Troyes is. Y'all know how we do. I'm going to take y'all every step of the way. I need y'all to have your big boy hats on today. Everybody got to have their big boy hats on today. Let's go find Troyes though. Let's pull up Troyes right quick. Cause I got it ready for you. But I want you to see it this way. I'm gonna type in Troyes caves. You dig? Troyes caves. Now let's see what comes up. La Cave Club, the cave, the cave, the cave, the cave. You see wine cellars in the cave, huh? They got the Cave Club, but do you see the wine cellars in the cave, huh? Do you see the wine making in the caves? Right? Do y'all understand this? Do y'all know? Again, I tried to explain to you the type of people who can make cheese. You know what I'm saying? Cheese is molded milk. Cheese has to be kept underground in these wine cellars. We call them wine cellars, but they not wine cellars. They caves, my nigga. They caves. Okay? Let's get back to the story. So this is where the guy's from. He's from Troy. Troy is known for caves. I mean, we're not gonna play this game. Troy is known for caves. Okay? Let's keep going now. So now we know where Rashi is from now. He's from Troy. which is about 25 miles from Paris. Now, Paris is a fort at this time. Paris is a gated city. Okay. Indeed, Rashi was a vintner. I just showed you what that means. He was involved in growing of grapes and the manufacture of sale of wine. Even a cursory review of commentaries will reveal his immense knowledge of intellectual curiosity, not only Talmudic traditions, but all fields of human life and nature, including agriculture, animal husbandry, tool making, commercial laws, transactions, astronomy, anatomy, botany, rudimentary medicine, and mathematics. So this dude is like he's a Renaissance man in the 10th century. The establishment of the Jewish community in France and Germany in the 11th century is nothing short of miraculous. There probably were only 5 to 10,000 Ashkenazi Jews in the world at that time. The majority of Jews lived in Spain, North Africa, and Babylon. Babylon and the land of Israel. France, which was the leading Christian, which was the leading country of Christian Europe, was itself beset by many internal dissensions, many civil wars, and the inability to form a strong and lasting government due to the lack of a strong central government. The Jews were always subject to the whims of the local warlords and to the fanatical, intolerant, and hostile Christian environment Rashi grew up. Okay? So now we want to just look at this. Go back here for a second, because at the time of Rashi in the 11th century, there's 5 to 10,000 Jews in the whole world outside of Spain. You see? Outside of Spain, there's only 5 to 10,000 Jews in the world. And they living in cave cities like Troy, like Shemev. You know what I'm saying? So let's go and find out what's going on in Spain, because they like to tell you all the Jews is from Spain. So we're gonna go into a really good book here. It's already open. We're gonna go to the table of contents so y'all can check this out one time. But the book is called The History of Jews in Spain, right? You dig? So we want to read the history of Jews in Spain. Which one I just had? Damn. Let's see if this one works. The History of Jews of Spain and Portugal. Now tag a Jew, because this is written by a Jew. This is written by a Jew. He got love for y'all. Let's get to the table of contents. We want to get to the good part. Preference. An impartial history of Jews in Spain and Portugal has long been a dissertation. So that's what he's working on. We want to get to the table of contents. Here we go. Early settlement of Jews in Spain and Portugal. The Edict of Augustus. Chapter 3. 6th, 9th, 10th, 12th centuries. We gonna skip that. Chapter 6. The Fuego Jugo, or the Visic Code. We gonna skip that. The invasion of the Moors. Let's go there. How about that? Y'all want to go there? Y'all want to see what the Jews had to do with the invasion of the Moors? We're going to skip that. We're going to get to the good part. Hold on. Wait a minute. We want to start at page right here. Here we go. Right here. The Saracens formed petty states. The kingdom. All right, see, this is what we got to understand before we get into this. Let's press it. We got to understand that Judaism is a way of thought. I'm showing you that these people they're wineries. They have food and they have jewels. Again, if you dig in a cave, You digging underground. If you digging underground, you might find some gems. You might find some gold. You see what I'm saying? So this is a culture of people that dig underground. They got caves for wine. They got caves for cows and for cheese. And they also finding gold. It's jewelry. Okay? So now let's dig into it. The Jews settled in every part of Spain. Under the counts of Barcelona, they were numerous. Pope Sylvester in 1002 assigned those of Girona to the bishop. Now listen to what I'm telling y'all. They're going to say a lot of shit like assigned. They're going to say shit like people quit. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to understand that the Jews are the farmers, not these Hebrew niggas. The Jews are the farmers. They got the food. They got wheat. They got to feed their cows, so they doing the wheat and all of this stuff. Okay? Don't get it confused. They know how to farm. They not these Hebrew Israelites that's on the corner begging for money. No, that's not these Jews. They got winery. Hold on, my bad. Give me a second. Let's let him say that part.
You got to study Jacob ben Meir, who's Rabbi Tam. You got to study Moses Maimon, called Maimonides, who's called Rambam. You see, it's a process. You got to study the Lombards. You got to study the Templar. All of that.
So now, back to where we are, because we study in the Lombards. You see, the Lombards is the winery. Rashi is a Lombard. He making money off the wine, the manufacture and the sale of wine. That's Rashi. He's a vintner. He is a vintner. You see it? That's how he get his bread. You see? So they taxing the people. They selling wine and spirits. You dig? All right, let's keep going now. So now, hold up, wait. Let's find out where Lombard is, because he's saying we got to study the Lombards. Hold on. I got so much stuff open and ready to bang. Hold on. I want y'all to see the Lombard region, and let's see if Troy is in the Lombard region. Lombard, France. Lombard in France, the commune in France, huh? Oh, hold on, I ain't fucking with it. I pressed the wrong button. Lombard. Right here, we're trying to press this one. Boop. There we go. We just want to see where it's at, because I'm going to explain all this to you in a minute. Let's just get the map popping. Let's take a second. We out here in the wind. Don't worry. But we doing it. We going to get the win. Peace to the gods. Peace to the goddesses. But Lombard is in the north of France. I showed y'all yesterday, that the people in the north of France don't speak French. Huh? How that work? I tell y'all, French is in American English, is American Indian language. You know what I'm saying? These niggas don't speak French. Huh? How they speaking French and they not English? They're not Indians. They speaking Deutsch and German. So again, we right up here in the north, close to the motherfucking, close to Dutch, to the Germans, to the Rhineland. Okay? We just want to make sure we know where that's at. That's where Rashi and his folks is at. Now let's get back into the story. We back in the first century, 10th century. For the pontiffs, which is the Catholic popes or the Catholic bishops, had assumed the power of deposing of them as they please. They are attached to these castles. They vassals. Moorish Spain, under the wise government of the Umayyad caliphs, had arrived at the highest degree of civilization through their toleration and protection afforded to the arts and sciences, agriculture and commerce. Pause. So now y'all gotta understand too. Everybody in my class know that when you got food and you got food, you got credit. So that's what I'm saying. Christians can't lend shit with credit. Christians can't charge you credit, but we all know that Hebrews and Jews can. You see what I'm saying? So they got a religion and everything that allows them to charge you credit. Now they're the only people growing food. They got the wineries, they got the cheeses, they got the meats, they got the wheat, and they charging you interest on the food that you buy. This is the Lombard. You see what I'm saying? So nobody else can do that but these dudes. So let's keep going. So yeah, they hanging with them, they get money, right? The Eastern magnificence of their alcazars and mosques were beyond conception. Their description and that of Cordoba, their capital, can only be equaled by those of the Arabian Nights. Israel was at its zenith in the time of Solomon, so were the Mohammedans of Spain under Abdul Rahim the third. Like the wise king of Israel, the vanity of mundane glory, for at his death, among his papers was found this remarkable memorandum, written by himself. I have reigned 50 years, victory and peace, beloved by my subjects, feared by my enemies, and esteemed by my allies. Riches, honor, and pleasure await my call, nor does any earthly blessing appear wanting to complete my felicity. That nigga said, I did it all. There ain't nothing left for earth for me to do. In this situation, I have carefully reckoned the days of perfect happiness that have fallen to my lot. They have been, they amount to 14. All right, hold up. Man, appreciate hence the value of splendor, worldly enjoyments, and even of life itself. Place not thy dependence on this world. See, y'all don't, all right, so what, so, all right, Judaism at this time is just a thought. It's just philosopher. I'm about to keep showing y'all, all right? So this is just them showing you how the time was in 1090, around the time of Rashi, okay? The city of Nari had been erected by Don Garcia Jimenez, a Spanish noble, into an independent kingdom separate from Leon in 850. Ramirez in 1035 placed the crown of Aragon on his head. Castile first became united to Arichis and Leon. Portugal declared its independence in 1139. The Jews took no part in the unceasing struggle for power between the Christian monarchs and the Saracen chieftains. Again, they're lending money to both sides. They're feeding both sides. They work for both sides and they quit. On the death of Rabbi Hanek in 1015, one of the most distinguished of his disciples, Rabbi Solomon A. Levy, succeeded to the chief rabbinate of Spain with the title of prince. Now, again, there's no Spain. It's just little small cities in Spain that's not run by the Muslims, for which it may be reckoned that the government of the Jews was transferred from the banks of the Euphrates to the Iberian soil. So they trying to tell you that in theory, Israel is not even the capital of Jewry at this time. The capital of Jewry is now on the Iberian soil. You see that? Like, once in 1015, once these dudes took over Navarre, now the Jewish capital of the world is now in Spain. Do you see how that worked? The government of the Jews was transferred from the banks of the Euphrates to the Iberian soil. So the trick is there wasn't no fucking Jew, no government in the Iberian, in the Euphrates. But we're gonna get into that. Owing to the intensifying wars between the two rival Moorish chiefs for supremacy, Many of the inhabitants quitted Cordoba. You see how they use that word quitted? Like left. They just leave. They not slaves. They work. They grow food. You know what I'm saying? They grow wine. These niggas is craftsmen. You see? So they quit. Some went to Saragossa, others to Toledo, and Rabbi Solomon I. Levy to Malago, where he kept a druggist shop. His profound knowledge of Arabian literature and his beautiful writings brought him to the notice of Algarve, the prime minister of Habis, peace to the gods, of Granada, who made him his secretary, and on his deathbed recommended his sovereign to be guided by him. In 1020, he was raised to that post, and in 1027 secured the crown to Baram, the eldest son. So these niggas in there making deals. And they in there making deals. Now you see they not talking about no Bible yet. Nobody's mentioning the Bible. They're not reading from the Bible. They're not quoting no Bible. They just talking business and wine and cheese. You see? Ain't no Bible for these dudes yet. But, hold on. His charity was not confined to Spain, but extended to his brethren in Africa, Egypt, and the Holy Land, right? Being exceedingly wealthy, he purchased many copies of the Talmud, Mishnah, and other religious works. Got him. You see this right here? You a wealthy man. He purchasing copies of the Talmud, the Mishnah, and other religious works. Not the Bible, not the Torah, not the Tanakh. You see? See, this is what old head is trying to tell us. That there wasn't a Bible. The dude created the Bible based upon some ideas. And I'm going to show you why he had to do it. At the time, they had the Talmud. Because again, let's go, what is the Talmud? See, this is how they confuse us. What's the Talmud? That's the search. What is the Talmud, right? Because we don't know, like the Hebrews on the corner, they act like the Talmud, they don't exist. They stuck in the Bible. Them niggas dope fiends. They on the drug. They don't know the origins of the thing. They just caught up on the get high. So they don't study the Talmud. But what is the Talmud? The Talmud is a record of rabbinic debates in the 2nd through 5th century of the teachings of the Torah. False. Both trying to understand how they apply in seeking answers for their situations by themselves. Sorry, the situations they themselves were encountering. Understand that the Talmud is not about Moses is not in the Talmud. Let's look that up. Let's find Moses in the Talmud. What Talmud? What is the Talmud? Oh, no. We're gonna find Moses in the Talmud. Moses. Hold on. So like, hold on. See how the Torah talks about Moses. The Torah talks about Moses. Okay, the Talmud talks about the rabbis, and they say that it's the Torah and about the Torah topics, but those topics are topics that were happening to people at the time. So I just want y'all to have that understanding of that there's a difference between the Talmud and the Torah, and that the Torah represents Moses. The Pentateuch represents Moses and the 5 families. Like in the Talmud, they have questions like, if a person dies, hold on, do I have that for you? If a person dies, damn. I don't have that. What's the difference between a Talmud? It tells you that one is trying to find one is about philosophy. These niggas, the Jews at this time, are philosophers. Okay, they're trying to like what he's trying to tell us here. He's trying to tell us that those barons, they need a moral code. They need a moral ethics. So he created a treatise. You see?
So if you don't know all of that, then and if you believe in traditional religious theology, you got to throw that out. Traditional religious theology, you got to forget that. You got to take the Bible and throw all that in the garbage can. You got to take this dead white man on the cross, throw it in the garbage can. You got to clear and clean your system out of all religious ideas, beliefs, and thoughts and everything, and start all over again.
Because it's not religion. It's philosophy. The Talmud is philosophy. You see what I'm saying? It's philosophy. They're having debate, and they use the Talmud. They don't use the Torah as a judge in Jewry and Judaism. That's a modern invention. So he's showing us that these rich barons, these Lombards that's lending all this money that don't have rules, they need to come up with a set of rules because it's making us hate it. People are starting to hate us. See, what they don't say is in the year 900, see, they don't know that Jews is trying to convert niggas into Judaism. We don't think that. We believe it's some type of bloodline or some shit. But no, niggas be trying to convert niggas into Judaism because it's not a bloodline. It's a philosophy. It's a way of doing business. You see? And that's what he's trying to explain to us and I'm just showing us.
Go after the historical origin of any subject, and then you will run into this. So it took me going on 25 years to find all of this.
Well, I guess what confuses me is that, I was in Israel, and they took us and showed us a Dead Sea.
Hold on. Let's keep going. Let's keep going now. Let's keep doing the work now. So, he was talking about Solomon ben Yashit, right? And we want to keep going into the times. Now, I just showed y'all that the Talmud is not the Torah. So, when this nigga, this millionaire dude, got all this money and he buying these books, he don't buy the Torah. He buying the Talmud and the Mishnah because that is their religious works. You see? Which to disseminate learning, he distributed gratuitously. Who is he distributing this to? You see what I'm saying? Like, they make you think that Jews don't be soliciting. They make you think that Jews ain't been on a corner for 1,000 years pushing that old bullshit, right? Since the 1000s, they've been on a corner pushing this, disseminating learning. They distributing this Talmud and this Mishnah gratuitously. His fame and renown attracted many Jews to Granada from all parts of Spain. You see? So now, not only do we got the Jews we already got, we getting more Jews, more money lenders. We're not worried about if they living in a cave or not. It don't matter. They charging taxes and they charging interest for bread, milk, and butter, nigga. You see? His son, Rabbi, and again, Rabbi just means Don. Don means Rabbi, father, that's it. These just a slick way of saying Don. That's all they trying to be, is slick. His son, Rabbi Joseph, succeeded to all his titles and posts of honor. But unlike his father, whose mildness of disposition and humility had gained him universal esteem, Rabbi Joseph was haughty and proud. And although he was very charitable, he had raised himself many enemies among the grandees who were jealous of his wealth. You see? Wealth, power, and obstination. A conspiracy was formed. Now watch this, y'all. a conspiracy was formed against him, and at the same time, a fanatical zealot sought to convert Mohammedans. Do y'all see this? So, at the same time, a fanatical zealot sought to convert Mohammedans. This assisted the conspirators. For although the madman was hanged, and Rabbi Joseph assassinated the enraged population in December 1068, murdered 1,500 Jewish families. Hello. Are y'all paying attention here? Are y'all paying attention here? Why ain't they talking about this? You see, who by enjoying tranquility under the Saracens for far upwards of 3 centuries and half had become immensely wealthy. Plunder had in the Moorish breast as much influence as religion in the barbarous act of humiliating men, women, and children. Do y'all see this right here? Don't let these niggas confuse you like they not trying to convert niggas. You see, I tell you, this guy that wrote this history of Jews in Spain, he a Jew. He a believer. He's a propagator, more importantly. You see? He called it a conspiracy was formed against the dude. But we just told you that his dad, who was a rich man, purchased many copies of the Talmud, the Mishnah, and other religious works and disseminated them from all over the fucking country. From Egypt to Africa, Holy Land, all of that. So when he died, his son, he get up and do the same thing. They tie his son into a conspiracy with a fanatical zealot. They won't call him a Jew now. He not a Hebrew now. He a fanatical zealot. Either way, the shit happened. And based upon probably using his father's free information, they was trying to convert Mohammedans. And the people went against them. The people murdered 1,500 families. You see? In 1068. Okay? So they playing the game here. Plunder had in the Moorish breast. Right. All right. So, although at this time, by laws of Spain, it was death for a Jew to commit adultery with a Christian woman, it was only punished by confiscation or scourgery. The Charter of Barcelona of 1024 records the convocation of an estate at the foot of Mount Juic, belonging to a Jew named Isaac, convicted of adultery with a Christian woman. Okay, what we talking about here? We got a place. So let's go find out what the hell is Mount Juic. It sounds Jewish, right? So y'all know me. We're going to press the button and we're going to find out what is Mount Juic. Here we go, Mount Juic. But I don't want to just know anything. I got a cheat code. So I'm going to put in caves, my nigga. I'm going to put in caves. We just did Troy and there was caves over there. And now we go into the foot of Mount Juic. The foot of Mount Juic, the caves of Mount Juic. Huh? You see this shit? The caves of Mount Juic, huh? Oh, y'all niggas, I hate Priest King, boy. I hate Priest King. I hate Priest King. I do. I hate him. Look at this shit. The caves, explore the depths of a cava. I told y'all they ain't have houses, they got cavas. Huh? Y'all see this, huh? Yeah, buddy, this is Mount St. Jenny. This is where they had to go and get the nigga estate. They couldn't go inside of it. They couldn't go inside of the of the cave, huh? So they had to wait outside. They had to wait outside for the nigga, and they collected his estate from the outside. Because why? He out here fucking on these Christians. These Jews come from underground, start fucking on these Christians. I'm not making this up. I hate Priest King too. But why do you gotta confiscate at the foot of a cave? Huh? The nigga ain't got no land. You don't go to the nigga house. You don't go to a person's property to go confiscate the property. You don't go to the estate to confiscate the estate. No, you go to the caves because that's where they all live. Look how big them caves is. Huh? How big these shits is. These motherfuckers is huge. Look at this shit. Look at all these rooms up in this motherfucker. Huh? Stairs and all types of shit going upstairs and huh? So yeah, you gotta go and confiscate because you ain't going up in this motherfucker. I showed y'all what's up in there. Everybody that fuck with me, they already seen all that. But we ain't dealing in that. We dealing in history. Come on now. I hate Priest King too. Don't worry. Somebody tag a Hebrew. Ask him what's the price of cheese. Somebody tag a Hebrew. Ask him what's the price of wine. Huh? The various Christian states were torn by civil wars. Disputed successions were constant. Huh? Causes for bloodshed, and the nobles have become so powerful as in many instances to indicate to their sovereigns the wealth and industry of the Jews became necessary to all. See how the Jews that came around and became necessary? You got people living in mountains. You got people living in caves and they necessary. You see how that works? Why? Because they can lend money. They are usury. Usury is the trick. Huh? And this is what they're trying to do after the people got upset and killed 1,500 families. We don't know how many bodies. We just know families. We don't know how many people in a family. See? The wealth and the industry of the Jews. Hold on, give me one second. Make sure. Oh, yeah. We Gucci. We Gucci. Yeah. You see? The power of the bigoted clergy had lost much of its influence, but it yet exercised some authority with mildness. At the Council of Coyaca in Austria, which is North Spain, it was enacted that no Christian shall reside in the same house with Jews, nor partake of their food. Whoever transgresses this decree shall perform penance for 7 days, or refusing to do it, if a person of rank, he shall be excommunicated for a year. If or any inferior degree, he shall receive 100 lashes for hanging with people that live in Mount Junik. That you gotta go to the foot of Mount Junik to go get the estates. You gotta go to the foot of a mountain to go catch these niggas. You can't date these niggas that you gotta go to the foot of the mountain to go to lunch with. You can't do it. Huh? Oh, I hate Priest King. Oh, I hate Priest King. I know you do. I know you do. Huh? Let's go back. Here we go. Don Sacho Ramirez, having in 1070 people Estalia. Many Jews settled there and had their synagogue in separate quarter. Although Cordova was the focus of Hebrew learning, it was not confined to that city of the arts and sciences. Many distinguished men were to be found in various cities of the peninsula, who flourished nearly at the same period, among whom may be enumerated. We're going to skip some of this right here. We're going to go back to Rashi right quick. We're going to go back to Rashi. Hold on. Give me a second. Because now we're going to get into wars he talked about the crusade, and they tried to tie Rashi into the crusades and stuff, right? He want to say Rashi funded the crusade, but I'm gonna show you how they funded the crusade. Before the crusade, it was another crusade. It's called it's called the Peasant Crusade. Huh? The Peasant Crusade, or the People's Crusade, right? The People's Crusade. We just gonna let Wikipedia. This ain't a big deal. We just gonna let Wikipedia tell us about this. All right. So the People's Crusade, right, was the beginning phase of the First Crusade, whose objective was to retake the Holy Land and Jerusalem, in particular from Islamic rule. In 1095, the head of the Roman Catholic Church, Urban II, started an urge for the faithful Christians to undertake an armed pilgrimage to Jerusalem. The People's Crusade was conducted for roughly 6 months, from April to October. It is known as the Peasants' Crusade, the Paupers' Crusade, or the Popular Crusade. So that's what that was. But let's go see how did this have to do with the Jews right quick. You know? I'm gonna show y'all who these are, but let's find out what this got to do with the Jews. Okay, here we go, right here. Right here. So now understand the Jews got all the food. They got all the food. They got all the food. Massacre of Jews in Central Europe, right? Let's go. Let's dig into it. In the late spring and summer of 1096, Crusaders destroyed most of the Jewish communities along the Rhine in a series of unprecedentedly large programs in France and Germany, in which thousands of Jews were massacred, driven to suicide, or forced to convert to Christianity. 12 Jews were murdered in Speyer, where the bishop saved the rest of the Jews. But in Worms, the Worms massacre, some 800 were murdered. In Mainz, over 1,000 Jews were murdered, as well as in Trier, Metz, Cologne, and elsewhere. Others were subjected to forced baptism and conversion. The preacher Falkmar and Emicio of Florin were the main inciters and leaders of the massacre. The major chroniclers of the 1096 killings are Solomon Bar Simon and Albert of Aachen. Okay. You see that? So this is France and Germany. Now I wanted to take us out of Spain right quick, so we can see what's going on in France and Germany now. You see what I'm saying? So we just left Spain because, again, all of these cities that he just mentioned are Jewish towns, and I'm about to show you all what type of town they are. They are in France. These are French towns. Speyer, da da da. Now, who are these? Who are these? The People Crusade. I want y'all to take a good look at this picture. I want y'all to take a good look at their face. Here's the picture. Here's the picture of the crusade, right? These are the Crusaders in white. They're fighting against the Saracens in armor. So look at the face of these Europeans. Look at the face of the Saracens. You see? Look at their features. Look at the man's features. You see what I'm saying? So this is the description. These are who these people are. You have to understand. Again, you got what they tell you. They say that it's black. They say black people, Africans got caught in the ice age. All they did was lose their complexion, right? So they got what would be considered African features in Neanderthal body traits. You see? You see? Oh yeah. hmm hmm Nobody got that work, boy. Priest King got that work, boy. Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord. So I wanted to show you that's what's going on in Spain. I mean in Germany. Cause he you gotta know the Crusades. Now all right, we ain't gonna get too deep into that. But let's keep going. We're gonna skip a little bit. Because okay, no. Yeah. Let's take a break. Let's take a break. Let's take a break. Let's take a break right quick. My bad. Let's take a break then. Fuck it. Let's take a break. I know that's a lot of information right there. Peace to the guys in the building. No doubt. Measy in the building. Shock Talk Mac. I'm feeling. Yeah, let's take a break right quick, y'all. My bad. Ooh, let me turn the car back on. It's getting hot up in here. Hopefully you can understand what y'all just seen right there. I'm trying to explain a little bit. But I'm trying to set the reason and the tone for why people might not like Jewish people. You see what I'm saying? It's some niggas that might be mad at Jewish people. You dig? And they might be upset with Jewish people for some reason. I don't know why. You see? Because like we told, I was trying to show y'all the culture. The culture is wineries. The culture is jewelry, precious stones. You see what I'm saying? All of that is their culture. And it makes sense. It's based upon, living underground. Like, again, you got to understand, if you want to keep something cool, hold on. Let's make sure we got the audio. If you want to keep something cool, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully something plays. I don't know. We'll work it out. They'll work it out. Hopefully y'all can still hear me. I can't hear me. Ain't nobody say they can't hear me. I'm sure somebody will let me know. I hope somebody will let me know. But damn, it's really fucking killing me. Let's make sure. how that works. Let's see how that works. Let's see how that works. That works. Let's see how that works. We taking a break here. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Y'all can fast forward in the playback. If I got any questions, thanks, cuz. Thanks. I didn't. My bad. I know it might be a little delay. My bad. But yeah. So what I wanted to show right there is why some people might want to change the public opinion. You see what I'm saying? Like, damn, these niggas is trying to they robbing us. There's massacres. You know what I'm saying? They killing 1,500 families for just trying to convert niggas. You know what I mean? You try to make a nigga a fucking Jew, a Hebrew, they killing everybody. Niggas want money for war, they killing everybody. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and it's like, yo, what do you do with that? What do you do? You know what I'm saying? So that's how they got into that predicament. That's how these niggas had to create a Bible. First of all, that's how they had to create a standard. That's what make you create a moral standard. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't these niggas, they unscrupulous. You know? So I just showed y'all that they use the Talmud, they don't use the Bible. They was trying to be philosophers. They was trying to bring people into their philosophy, and it wasn't working, right? Because in their philosophy, you get to lend money with interest. Not only do you, like, again, it make more sense if you're gonna be a farmer, if you can get banking money too. You know what I mean? You get interest off of what you sell. That makes more sense. So they was trying to get people on their side. People was killing them. The Crusades is basically against them. You know what I'm saying? Basically, that's what they were saying. Like, you ain't gotta go nowhere to kill the enemy and shit. The enemy is right here. So that's what they did with that part. Now you get to see why you might want to create a Bible, why you might want to influence Christians to accept Jews and accept the Judaism that they pushing and promoting. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gotta be a real thing. It just gotta be. It just gotta be promoted and marketed. You know what I'm saying? Peace to the guy. Shop is in the building. He might be a little late. You dig what I'm saying? Hit the dislike button, y'all. Don't forget to hit the dislike button. We all know y'all hate Priest King, just like me. So hold on. Let's let old head say his spill again. We're gonna finish up. Cause he mentioned some people. Um damn. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, that shit crazy. I mean, this shit is crazy. I ain't gonna lie, this shit crazy. That shit crazy. This shit is crazy. This shit is crazy. Yeah, it's crazy, bro. I'm trying to figure out how can I answer this question. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, you cannot, y'all, you cannot have a religious mind in this conversation. You cannot, like again, y'all like, you know what I mean? There is no Bible. There is no Bible. It's some shit these niggas created because they was getting their ass beat. It ain't no black Hebrews. It ain't no white Hebrews. It's some niggas that was getting their ass beat, and they had to come up with some shit to get niggas off their ass, dog. It's a hustle. It's a lie. It's a scam. It's a crook. It's some bullshit. The Jews don't believe in this shit. The black Hebrews is not. They suckers. They bought the dope. The Ashkenazi Jews, the ones that's practicing Jewish culture. See, it's again, fuck bit. I just showed you how they was trying to convert Jews. I just showed you how it didn't have nothing to do with a bloodline. You see what I'm saying? In Spain, where they talking about the black ones was at, the Sephardics, right? In Spain. You can say black or white. I'm not dealing with that. I'm telling you, all these motherfuckers is black to me. I just showed you the white motherfuckers and they drew and they look like black people to me, right? Look like African features to me. So that's what I'm saying. We got to get out that mindset. There ain't no that the black Hebrew Israelites is fucking stupid. They don't know. They believe a book that the Jewish people don't even read. The Jewish people read the Talmud. They read the Mishnah. They don't read the Bible. You see, the Bible is for Christians because Christians is killing Jews because Jews don't believe in what they believe in. So fuck it. Let's make the Christians think that the Jews are their friends so they won't kill us because the Jews don't believe in the same. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's hard to get that understanding because niggas think that they so smart that no, the white boy stole this from us and the white boy took this. No, the white boy came in late. This is Spain, what we just read. All that we just read was about Spain. So are they white folks in Spain that these Jews, because they saying that the Sephardic Jews is black. If you a Sephardic or a Sephardim, that means you left Spain. That came out of Spain. Spain is the Sephardics. You see it, and that happened yesterday in 1492 on March 31st. You see? So it's not gonna be it's not gonna be easy for niggas. I get it. I ain't tripping. It's not gonna be easy for niggas. You know what I'm saying? Cause niggas is caught up in a niggas is looking for heaven. You don't listen. You don't have the Hebrew Israelites believe the Bible. They're not Jews. They're Christians. Okay? Hebrew Israelites are Christians because they read the Bible. Jews, Hebrews don't read the Bible. They read the Talmud, the Mishnah. See, we don't think that they're playing a game on us. I tried to show you why it makes sense for them to play a game. If y'all can't get that, y'all just gonna be played forever. It's a point where you say, damn, these niggas just killed all these motherfuckers. They just robbed us and massacred all these other people in less than 100 years. I just showed you. Wouldn't you try to figure out a way not to get killed? It's not legit. All right, we got to keep going then. We got to keep going then. I got to keep going. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna let Walter keep talking to you. But it's not legit. Listen, how do I explain this? I'm trying to say, all right, listen. Even if you looking for Israel, you're not looking for Jews, my nigga. If you're looking for Israel, you're not looking for Jews. If you see the word Israel, you're looking at Isis, Ra, and El. You're not looking at Judaism, and you're not looking at Hebrewism. Hebrewism has a culture, my nigga. Again, that's why I wanted to show y'all where these people live. Don't say, okay, these niggas is from Philly, and y'all don't show me Philly. Y'all don't talk about a cheesesteak and water ice. And you know what I'm saying? You gotta show me the scenery of the time. I gave y'all the scenery of the times that we're in. You see? So now, what I showed y'all yesterday was what happens when they got kicked out. Now they got kicked out the country. They actually moved to all of these other cool places. Like they moved to Egypt. Like the nigga is a nigga named Moses. See, all right, y'all get fucked up over these names. Moses, Solomon, and all this old shit. That make you think of a Bible. Niggas named Ben Isaac. And but again, I just showed you where they live. You gotta show me a winery that's not underground. You gotta show me somebody that's making cheese that's not underground. You gotta show me somebody that got gold, silver, and diamonds that's not underground. I don't want to hear about no fucking books in a, you know what I'm saying? Let's talk about culture. All of that shit can be fraudulated. It's a system. The only people that validates their shit is their system. No one agrees that the Stella is a legit, but their system. You see what I'm saying? When we go back to the history and the dates, they gotta go confiscate this nigga property at the foot of a mountain. I didn't make that up. They made that up. We just did the research and found out, well, what the fuck kind of mountain is this? Let's look up this mountain. You see? So, like again, how far would you go to keep your bills, to keep your situation? You know what I'm saying? Like again, nobody's believing this shit. That's why they kicked them out of Spain and all these other countries, because nobody's believing all of this extra shit they adding on to the dope. Nobody wants to have a Old Testament to this New Testament. Nobody's doing that. That's some shit that they're trying to do so that way they don't keep getting massacred and keep getting expelled out of the country. It's a hook. It's a hustle. And you just go around finding artifacts and planting artifacts and creating situations to validate your bullshit. Because again, we don't find out about synagogues in books. We don't find out that synagogues being underground and motherfuckers is just really devils. Because we gonna play another game right quick. We gonna look up in the Torah, not the Torah. What's that shit called? What the Muslims believe in? I'm gonna keep reading this book. Don't worry. I'm just taking a break. I'm just a little deterred. But I didn't say the Hebrews created the Bible in 1492. Hold on. Hold on. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I forgot what I was even looking up. I forgot I was looking up. I forgot I was looking up. But nah. No, I'm not. All right, so look. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. We gotta keep going. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. My bad. I'm gonna roll up a blunt. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. Don't worry. That's a good question. So when did they write the Bible now, right? So I gotta let him say these names again. You know what I'm saying? Because
and then you will run into this. So it took me over going on 25 years to find all of this.
Well, I guess what confuses me is that, I was in Israel and they took us and showed us the Dead Sea Scrolls, and they said that these manuscripts went all the way back to before Christ. Solomon cave there. Um, is that true? I mean, in terms of your research, would those documents, which were supposed to have been on, scrolls, and they were supposed to coincide pretty much with the same Old Testament that they have today, which would mean then that the Old Testament existed before Christ and has continuity to it. How would you explain that?
First, say that's not true. The Dead Sea Scrolls are 20th century European fakes. They have an exhibit in Chicago called Inside Egypt. When you go in the museum, the Field Museum in Chicago, they have a big sign on the wall telling you how they, the Europeans, can make a fake document to look so authentic that it will fool the expert. That's how they can do it. Number two, when you look at the alphabet that was written on these Dead Sea Scroll supposed manuscript, that alphabet is called by the European scholar community as Old Hebrew. And what they did, they took your ancestors, the ancient Egyptians, phonetic alphabet, and they called it Old Hebrew. And they created a stone called the Salam inscription, which is a fake. They made it. Okay? And they can create all these things. If you go into the University of Chicago, Johns Hopkins University, all these universities anyway, go down in their basement, they create what they want to create. The archaeologists, they go over in these countries and they dig in the ground. And you know what they do at night, Reverend? They plant certain artifacts. Now, I have evidence of that because there was a male and a female archaeologist complaining to the Archaeological Society of the methods of how they, at these digs, how they, in the middle of the night, go there and plant artifacts to be found the next day. This is Europeans reporting on Europeans, some of their trickery. But getting back to the Dead Sea Scrolls. So this supposed Hebrew alphabet is ascribed.
I mean, I hope that kind of answers your question a little bit. You know what I'm saying about that particular part. I don't know. Hold on. I hope that answers your question a little bit about the Let me get into the dizzle.
To being the alphabet that was created by Rashi. Rashi is late 11th and early 12th century individual. Now these Dead Sea Scrolls have been dated back during the BC time.
Correct.
Coming from the caves, the Qumran caves in and around the Dead Sea. Right. Scrolls have been written by the Essene Society. Okay? That's not true. It's never been in the same. That's it. Yeah. Essene. Essene. Okay. However you want to say it.
Never been one. Right?
Okay. Now, what I did was to prove to myself that the Dead Sea Scrolls were European fakes. I went over to a university class. I took a class at
you said Corey Mayo did what? We gonna have a
DSS class, Dead Sea Scrolls class. What the
We gonna get into the literature right now.
Get away with it. I just gave you a short overview. If I had more time, we can go into more details. If I had a classroom to teach from.
We're going to see if we can set that up. But I want to ask you another question that will confuse a lot of people because they will go back to Rome, the Church of Rome. The Church of Rome has been around since what? The 4th century, 3rd century?
All right, so he mentioned some names. Let me just go back real quick. He mentioned some names and shit. He mentioned Radic, Rambam, all these people. So these are the people that wrote the Bible. Moses, Diomedes, all this shit, right? So we're gonna get into that right quick. Hold on. I'm gonna break that down for you. I'm gonna take you on that trail and shit.
Scroll.
Who's saying put the link in? E Money Bags. That's E. E saying drop the link.
Pretty much with the same Old Testament that they have today.
Hold on, my bad. We're gonna get into it because the guy's name is Rashi. I showed y'all Rashi. I want to show y'all these other people, how they fit into history. Like again.
Can I have a sip?
Paleo Hebrew script. Nah.
The King James Version. And when that happened in 1611, John was added. They wrote John. And in John, guess what, Reverend?
So hold on, listen.
Jesus was a Jew.
So let's go back. Listen.
Because if you get
let's go back to what he's saying now and kind of have a better understanding of why it might make sense. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep explaining what he's saying. We're gonna get into the literature part. But let's let him explain the creation of the Bible now. After you can understand what's been going on in the thousands. Damn, right? Now you can understand the creation of the Bibles.
This is what is being taught in traditional theology, is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So now, in 1611, after using a group of theologians to help him write what is known as the King James Version, I'm talking about Lancelot Andrews and his group of theologians creating.
My bad, hold on. Let's go back a little further. Little further.
You see? So now, going back to where we're at now. So in 1610, they came out with an Old Testament Douay Bible, the Roman Catholic Church, which was a censored Bible. Now, going back to 1475, this Bible that was printed, which is called the Pentateuch of the Old Testament, was written for Christians, for the sole purpose of getting the Christian community who had been taught negative things about the Jews, getting them to begin to like and love the Jews, because in the Old Testament it tells you to love the Jews and that the Jews are God's chosen people.
You see what I'm saying? Like, does that make more sense now? He's telling you the motive. He's giving you the overall. I just showed you the actual happenings. Why they want you to love them now. You see? He's explaining to you what they did. I showed you why they did it. It don't have to be anything other than but niggas is fighting for their life. He's not explaining that to you. I just showed you the massacres, the murders. You know what I'm saying? These are people that are fighting for their lives. And on top of that, they think the regular people are stupid. You gotta understand, they playing usury game. These are the bankers. These are the bankers before the bankers. So they're not gonna lose to no people that they fleecing. They're not gonna lose to no customers, to no fiends. You see what I'm saying? The church, everybody's buying from them. So they're not gonna lose to them. They're gonna figure out a way to beat them. And the way to do that is
Christian community who had been taught negative things about the Jews, getting them to begin to like and love the Jews, because in the Old Testament it tells you to love the Jews, and that the Jews are God's chosen people. Is that true?
Not as far as I know. I mean, that's true in the Bible.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm talking about. I'm talking about I know you're talking about in reality.
I know that.
Well, this is true. But I'm saying in the Old Testament now. We're talking about Old Testament written literature now.
Correct.
Okay, this is what is being taught in traditional theology, is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So now, in 1611, after using a group of theologians to help him write what is known as the King James Version, I'm talking about Lancelot Andrewes and his group of theologians creating the King James Version. And when that happened in 1611, John was added. They wrote John. And in John, guess what, Reverend? Jesus was a Jew. Because if you get a Bible concordance and you look up Jew in there, they refer you to Jesus being a Jew in John. All through John. Not in the other three Gospels. And that was done on purpose.
No.
The motive, you see?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see? It was done on purpose. I showed you the motive. He's telling you the motive. I just showed you the motive. Survival. To keep eating off the people. You know what I'm saying? To keep. Oh, that's what I was going to show y'all. That's what I was. Because again, y'all want to act like a devil is a bad thing, but no, that's in their thing. They know. Listen, devils and divers. Hold on. We're gonna look for books. Hold on, let me do it another way. Is that how you spell it? Can't you fucking do it? Hold on. I don't know. Fuck it. Forget it. Here we go. And also the devils, every builder and diver. You see, like the word devil just mean these niggas that live underground, bro. I know it's hard for people to understand that shit, but a devil is a person that lives underground. A diver is a devil. A miner is a devil. A miner is a person that lives underground. It's the same shit. But let's keep going with this history of Jews in Spain, because now we're gonna get into the people that wrote the book. Now, they get all of these people are rich barons. These are rich barons. Rabbi Alaman ben Yahi, surnamed the Prince, born in 1070, was much esteemed. These is rich people. Let's keep going. We're gonna get to the good part. We're gonna get to the meat. You know, at this period, Cordoba boasted of 5 sages, all having the name Isaac. Let's skip that. Let's skip that. But we just showed you the other nigga, Moses. What is his name? Shalaman bin Isaac. Yashi. Hold on. Hold on. Let's keep going. We're gonna get to the good part. We're gonna get to the good part. Chapter 7. persecutions presented Jews protected by Alfonso. All right, let's go. The religious chivalry of the age led by Christian warriors to join their band and raised by Ferdinand I to humble the Saracen power. I just showed y'all that. That's the first crusade. His bigoted queen Donna Sancha, thinking to sanctify his war against the Moorish sovereigns, instigated him to expatriate the Jews. The bishop arrested the bishops arrested his zeal, and their conduct was highly commended by Gregory, who then filled the papal chair. The, the revolution of the Moors in Africa in 1080 so distressed his successor Alfonso I that he found himself obliged to befriend and favor the Jews. In order to make their persons and assistance serviceable to him, they were promoted to considerable posts and obtained such privileges that Pope Gregory II disapproved of his conduct. So understand what's going on in Castile. The Jews are being promoted to highest to the highest post so they can get access to the Jewish money in the Jewish bank. You dig what I'm saying? So high that the Pope is upset. And this is 1080. Okay? But his censors were disregarded. Alfonso would not retract what he had done, nor withdraw his protection from them. Alfonso sought refuge from his brothers at Toledo. The reigning monarch, Al-Amin, kindly received and hospitably entertained him. In return, he promised his life, his friendship, and assistance against a mediated attack of the Caliph at Cordoba. But after the death of Al-Amin and his son Hussein, Alfonso, considering himself relieved from his promise, laid siege to the ancient Visigoth capital, which resisted the forces during 3 years. Now watch what happened here, y'all. At length, in 1085, Toledo capitulated. A large number of Israelites resided in the city and the surrounding country. They suffered severely from the desolating war. So again, these Jews was on the side of the Moors. You see what I'm saying? So when the Moor, like you said, Hussein, when the king died, when Al-Amin died, his son took over. Alfonso attacked Hussein, laid siege to these niggas. You know what I'm saying? And got back his city, right? So the capitulation secured both the Moors and Jews' undisturbed residence, the free exercise of their religious rights, and permission to be judged by their own laws. But although respected by the monarch and their religious ceremonies, the Hebrews were not treated with that consideration the laws of the nation demanded. A right ill-defined and worse understood at that period. After the surrender, they demanded exemption from the capitulation tax of 30 deniers levied on all Jews in Castile above 16 years of age, and on the plea that their ancestors resided there at the time of the crucifixion and therefore were not accessories to it. Peter, king of Aragon, was preparing in 1096 to join the crusade. I just showed y'all what happened when these niggas went on the crusade in 1096. They just killed all those Jews on the way, right? Because again, those Jews live in underground houses. Nicholas de Valencia endeavored to dissuade him from it, representing that he need not to go so far in search of foes, for he had too many dangerous enemies in his kingdom, and leading to the Jews, who he falsely asserted hated the Christians so much that they never met with them without ejaculating curses on their heads, thus pretending that the bigotry and intolerance of the Jews was equal to those qualities inherent in the breast of the Dominican friars. So understand that they stand that the Jews is the rich, they the bourgeoisie, they getting all the money, and they looking down on these Christians. Yeah, even if they living in caves, I showed y'all them caves was fly. Even in they got curtains, they got, you know what I mean, they got toilets in them caves. I showed y'all that. You know what I'm saying? Like them caves was fly. Them dudes is getting money, but they using them caves like refrigerators. Don't Don't think they slow because they troglodytes and trolls. They not stupid. They just play stupid. His physician was a Jew named Isaac, the author of a learned work on fevers. Because again, when they went to collect that dude estate, they didn't think he was stupid. They knew he had some money. They went to the cave to go get it, didn't they? He was requested by the Castilian nobles who were averse to the marriage of the Princess Eurica with a foreign prince and wished her to be married to the Count of Candaspina, the most powerful and wealthy grande of Spain, to represent the king the wishes of the nation and to dissuade him from giving his daughter to the king of Aragon, fearing from his impetuous temper to address him themselves. Alfonso, irritated at the assumption of so much authority on the part of a Jew, basically, as to wish to control the marriage of his princess, dismissed his physician for convening him their representation and hastened the nuptials, which took place at Toledo with extraordinary pomp. His treasurer was sent with a guard of cavalry to demand the payment of tribute from Abin the king of Seville and the restoration of some towns that belonged to the kingdom of Toledo. The envoy, the Jewish envoy, right, had his eyes put out and his escorts were cut into pieces. In 1123, the castle of Bourges, which had been seized by the king of Navarre, was invested. The Jews of the city and the neighboring Castilian towns, desirous of signaling themselves in service of their legitimate sovereign, raised a large force to assist in the siege. Huh? Did you hear that? Y'all say Jews don't be fighting, Jews don't be doing nothing. Huh? The Jews, huh? The Jews of the city and the neighboring Castilian towns, desirous of signaling themselves in the service of their legitimate sovereign, raised a large force to assist in the siege. Their division attacked the place so vigorously that the governor, Don Sancho Azena, fearing an assault in the quarter, hastened to the spot with the troops and was shot by an arrow of the besiegers. So the Jews is busting shots in niggas. They shooting people off horses. Don't play that scared Jew shit around here. On his death, the castle immediately surrendered. You see? Jews is taking castles now. You see? Spain about this time gave birth to many eminent men among the Jews. But wait, let's go back. Let's go back. Because you see they dropped another name here. They dropped another name here. 1123, the Castle of Burgess. What the hell is the Castle of Burgess? They dropped another name here. Burgess, city of Old Castile, having long established, large, wealthy, and cultured Jewish. We in that Jewish encyclopedia, y'all. And cultured Jewish community up to the time of the expulsion of the Jews in 1492. Y'all know what that is. I told y'all that yesterday. It is reported that the Jews of Burgess, who as early as 1070 had made a loan to the Cid, right, organized a large squadron in 1123 and fought bravely against Sancho Aznar as the beautiful subjects of the king of Castle Sadaval, right? We just said that. But let's find out who these Jews is. Let's find out who these Jews is. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. So this is their little castle that they protected on top of their cave. Remember I showed y'all how they got how most castles is over top of caves and shit. This is one of those castles. That's over top of a cave. Over top of um a cave village. You see? And they live on this mountain. They like the other people lived in Mount Junik. These people lived inside of this mountain. You see? But the Jews came together and they took it over though. You know what I mean? Like you see how this shit's they don't want y'all to know the truth. But we're gonna get it all to it. Hold on. So let's go back to the Jewish encyclopedia real quick before we. So now we also see that y'all everybody heard of El Cid. Now that you see that the Jews is financing El Cid. El Cid is the Spanish hero. He helped them defeat the Muslims. So they living in in cities and they financing the Christians, right? Until the Christians come, and then when the Christians come, then they fight the Christians. You see what I'm saying? But again, this is a cave town. We're gonna let them niggas tell you about the cave that these niggas live in. Hold on one second. Hold on. It's the cave town. It's the cave town. We ain't done with that right now. Let's go back to the book. But now y'all getting to see how these Jews is playing both sides of the game. Y'all getting to see how in history they kicking niggas out because they want to fight. They don't want to fight. And then they want to fight. You know what I'm saying? Now we're gonna get in. Now we're gonna get into Maimonides. Here we go. Alright, hold on. Hold on. Damn. I wanted to find out about David Kamichi real quick. Because damn, my bad, y'all. I be reading all of this shit. Alright, here we go. This is Maimonides right here. This is the Moses that the Doc is talking about. We gotta let Doc keep playing. Because again, Doc be on it.
The Talmud.
Of the who?
The Talmud. What the Jews, what they call the Old Testament. What was that? How did that come about? And what is the accuracy of that? When did that originate and become a instrument of teaching and the Jewish books?
Well, the Jews never had an Old Testament. The Old Testament was strictly written and produced for the Christians. Okay, I'll give you a little historical.
But they are books. I mean, let's start this one. Who are the Jews? Where'd they come from? And how did they evolve in terms of the religion?
Okay, now, what I'm about to tell you, Reverend, no one on earth is going to tell you this. Now listen, Judaism, of the three major religions, is the third religion of those three. But they teach you just in reverse. They say that Judaism was first because they said that Jesus Christ was a Jew. So Judaism was first. They say after the death of Jesus Christ, then came Christianity. And then they're going to tell you that Islam is a combination of Judaism and Christianity. Historically incorrect. Because I'm going to tell you now. You have to know the historical origin of Judaism. It was a man by the name of Solomon Bar Isaac between the years of 1080 and 1100 who created the formula for Judaism by creating Sefer HaYasa literature. Sefer HaYasa means, Sefer means books, Ha means of, and Yasa means of the upright ones. Books of the upright ones. Who are the upright ones? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Okay? Those are your upright ones. Later they added Solomon and so forth and so on, and other names. Now, what did Rashi? Who is Rashi? Rashi was a Lombard. Let me tell you this. I'm gonna make a statement. You never heard the statement before. In order for anybody of any race, creed, or color to find the historical origin of Judaism as a religion, you have to know the history of the Lombards and the Templars. Then you will find the historical origin of Judaism. You got to remove yourself from believing in traditional religious theology as being taught by these various religions.
Use Kayak's filters to search only the flights you actually want to take. Download the Kayak app now.
And that's what I'm saying. I get it. Like, it's you know, we got to listen to it and watch it and then do what he's saying, then play it back. You know what I mean? Like, I got to show what he's saying and then play it back. So this is the second time I'm playing it. Hopefully it's answering your question this time. Is the Christians and the Muslims was already there. The Jews made it up so that way they made it up so that way they wouldn't get caught up. Like, again, they made it up. They added themselves into the Christians and the Muslim joints so that way they wouldn't get harassed no more. That's what it is. So say that they made it up so they could fit in, and they just backdated their stuff. It's like they made themselves a prequel and everybody's shit. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have to be the second verse. They made the niggas the second verse by just going back in time, by just making it up. You see? But I'm about to show y'all how what he says makes what he says is true.
So Rashi created the formula for Judaism by creating Sefer HaYasa literature, which is the base foundation of the Torah. The Torah is handwritten, used by a rabbi to teach the believer. Okay? The believer has to learn what the rabbi is teaching him from the Torah by way of memory. That way, that individual internalizes the laws, the rituals, the customs, and the ceremonies of Judaism. So you have to start there first to understand where these Old Testament literature and Bibles come from. Then you got to study Rashi, you got to study Jacob ben Meir, who's Rabbi Tam. You got to study Moses Maimon, called Maimonides, who's called Rambam. You see, it's a process. You got to study.
Okay, so now let's keep going in the process. Let's study Rambam, Moses of the Bible, because again, all of this is really real shit, and it happens within the same time period, as I'm trying to say. So now you got Moses ben Manan, more generally known by the name Maimonides, was born in Cordova, again, born in Spain in 1131, where his father, Rabbi Manan, was a judge. His talents far eclipsed the long line of sages he descended from. In his boyhood, he was indolent and so disinclined to study that his father sent him at an early age from his parental roof. During his absence from home, he was unremitting in his studies. An elegant oration by him, made by him at the age of 14, reconciled father and son. Acquainted with all the writings of the ancient philosophers. You see what I'm saying? These is philosophers now. They don't have a Bible, bro. They don't have a Bible. They use the Talmud. They use philosophy. These are philosophers. They wealthy men, even though they live underground. He was an able mathematician and metaphysician. When only 21, 23 years of age, he began his imperishable work, The Powerful Hand, which is a completed digest of Hebrew jurisprudence, customs, and religion. See, they be talking about laws and behavior in philosophy. He completed it in the short space of 7 years. About this period, he pretended to embrace Islamism. You see what I'm saying? So they greatest, the person that wrote they shit pretended to embrace Islamism. The Almohad monarch Abdullah Mahin having decreed that all Jews and Christians should become Mohammedans. The Jews were particularly persecuted in consequence of the rich coffin that contained the embalmed body of Muhammad at Mecca, having been robbed of many diamonds and valuable jewels by a band of Arabs, aided by some accomplices in the town. The guards, to screen their negligence, accused the Jews that had come from Toledo of the act, saying that they had been sent by their other Jews of Spain to commit it. Understand, these are Jews from Spain and Mecca, in Islamic Mecca, hanging around the Kaaba and the Prophet. The report being believed, many were put to death. 40 synagogues were burnt, and this decree issued. Maimonides escaped from Spain and settled in Egypt, which he is frequently called Moses of Egypt. You see, where he maintained his family at Cairo by the sale of precious stones and goods he had brought with him. So again, if you live in underground, just if you just trying to make more space for a wine cellar, if you ain't got to live there, fuck it. You just trying to make a wine cellar. You gonna dig underground and you might find some precious stones. Okay? That's jewelry from being underground. He declared himself to be a Jew and opened an academy of philosophy in Hebrew. So, is he a Jew or do you declare yourself to be a Jew? You see what I'm saying? Because it's not a birth thing at this time. I showed y'all how they was trying to recruit Jews, how they was trying to bring people into this thought, into this usury. You see what I'm saying? So it ain't about no bloodline. Anybody could be a Jew. At this time, he had to declare himself a Jew. That don't sound like you born a Jew. And opened an academy of philosophy in Hebrew, to which many scholars repaired. He joined the medical school of that city. His talents brought him to the notice of Al-Fadl Abdul Rahim Ibn Ali Ibn Sin, who greatly befriended him, and on the becoming minister, appointed him physician to the court with a yearly salary. The estimation of his medical abilities is shown by the following letter to his friends. I'm gonna skip this. This is showing you how busy he is. We're gonna skip that. Yeah, he can say, I reside in Cairo at the capital city and enjoy the greatest intimacy with the Sultan. In the fulfillment of my duty, I visit him every morning. We don't need to read all that shit. So this is Jews that's sitting there getting money. You see what I'm saying? Hanging with the Sultan and they're not afraid of being nothing. He acting like he a Muslim, but he declaring he a Hebrew. So come on, let's keep going. Okay, so yeah, he instructed the first named sovereign in philosophy and humility, and he proved a worthy disciple of so great a master. For at his death, he ordered his corpse to be interred with pomp, and that the banner carried before it should be a piece of linen, the size of his shroud. The bearer loudly proclaiming, "Behold, the trophies of Saladin, Sultan of Egypt, Caliph of Cairo, King of Damascus, and the conqueror of Jerusalem." His sanctification of the months proves his proficiency in astronomy. As a philosopher, the following extract from his preface to the Mishnah. I showed y'all they only dealing with the Mishnah and the Talmud at this time. So he did a preface to the Mishnah. May not prove unacceptable. No. Now this nigga is a poet. He's a philosopher. This shit is brilliant that he's about to spit. Watch this shit. No, says Maimonides, that everything under the lunar sphere, again, they use the moon as they ruler. We say the sun is a ruler because we use it to measure time. The moon is a ruler. You can use it to measure time. So the moon is their ruler. They're ruled by the moon. The moon is how they measure. That everything under the lunar sphere is created for us, for the use of man. If there are animals and plants, the utility of which is not apparent, it is because our ignorance that has not been able to discover it. The proof is that every age makes discoveries of utility of certain animals and plants. Objects that to us seem poisonous possess their salutary qualities. We have an evident proof in vipers, which although noxious reptiles have been rendered useful to man. Then, since man is the end of all creation, we must examine for what purpose he exists. For what end is he created? We see every object of the creation produce the effect for which it is created. The palm yields its dates, the spider weaves its cobwebs. All their qualities render the animal or plant proper to obtain their purpose. Then what is that of man? It cannot be to eat, drink, and propagate, build walls, or to command, for these occupations are separate from him and add not to his essence. He possesses nearly the whole of them in common with other animals. It is then intelligence only that augments his beings. Do y'all hear this shit? He not talking about God and the divine, like God sitting on a mountain. He's saying it is the intelligence. It is then only the intelligence that augments his being and elevates him from a lowly condition to a sublime state. It's intelligence. That's these niggas. That's what the Jews, the real Jews, is thinking about. They philosophers. They don't believe this book, this Jesus mumbo jumbo. By reason, I mean the understanding of comprehensible subjects, and above all, the unity of God. You see, all other knowledge tends to conduct him to that, but to arrive at it, he must avoid luxury, for too much care bestowed on the body destroys the soul. Why ain't he quoting scriptures? Why ain't he quoting Bible verses? Why ain't he referencing us back to the Torah? Huh? Because the shit don't exist. He ain't write it yet. But this is how he writes. He writes like this. He writing for fucking for philosophical for the gods, my nigga. This is Judaism. It's philosophy. The Talmud, the Mishnah is philosophy. He's not quoting the Bible because it doesn't exist. Let's keep going. But to arrive at this At it, he must avoid luxury, for too much care bestowed on the body destroys the soul. The man who abandons himself to his passions, who renders his understanding subservient to his corporal desires, does not demonstrate the divine power that lies within him. Huh? The divine power that lies within him. That is to say, reason. The reason that we feel, huh? Which is a matter floating in the ocean of space. They not talking about Yahshua, Yahweh Shah, none of that shit. None of that shit. That's how these niggas think. That's Maimonides. That's the nigga that wrote all of this shit. That's Moses of the Egypt talking that fly shit, popping his collar on these niggas. You don't think that they gonna manipulate some people? They don't believe in God. He telling you the only way to be safe is by your intelligence. You better use reason, huh? You better use your noggin, put on a thinking cap, Shells, right? That's what he's saying. He's not telling you to believe in no God in the sky to help you save your problems and no 10 commandments. None of that shit. He's telling you how to live righteously according to reason. That's Judaism, y'all. And that's the person that wrote all of this shit. You see? Wait a second. Let's keep going now. Let's get back to the book. For a man to be perfect, watch this shit. For a man to be perfect, he must combine in himself science and actions. Huh? That is the knowledge of truth with the practice of virtue. Huh? You got to practice. Huh? Science and action. He ain't waiting on no fucking curses. He ain't waiting on no fucking no Deuteronomy. No, you know what I mean? He not cursed. This nigga talking about science and reason. Here we go. The history of the Jews of Spain and Portugal. This is a history book. You know what I mean? I can tell, like you said, we got to deal in history if we want to find out the motive for creating a religion. These some smarty art niggas. You see? These niggas too cool for school. For a man to be perfect, he must combine himself with science and action. You can't just know right, you got to be right. That is the knowledge of truth with the patience of virtue. This is what not only our prophets, but the ancient philosophers taught us. You see this shit? Philosophers. And it will be found more detailed in my exposition of the ethics of the fathers. Throughout the law, you find this precept: learn and then practice. Learn and then practice. See, y'all don't know this because that's Talmud. That's Talmudic law he talking about. It indicates that knowledge, proceeds action. For knowledge leads to actions, while they do not lead to knowledge. This is the reason why our sages have said that learning begets practice. That's why I be saying when y'all hear niggas say the fathers and all that shit, he talking about the rabbis, bro. He not talking about Abraham and them niggas yet. He talking about the rabbis. This is a rabbinical thinking. They don't use the Torah. This is rabbinical. They don't use the same type of priestly. Any rabbi got more authority than a Levi. A Levi don't have no authority over a rabbi. You see? This is rabbinical. We live in a rabbinical age. So when he talking about the fathers, that's who he talking about. Shit. Hold on. To this, hold on. Let's go. I'm gonna, cause this nigga I'm telling you, he dope. But probably some persons will say
If the purpose of man is to acquire knowledge and perform good actions, why do we see the major part of mankind deficient in knowledge and even despising it, giving reins to their passions and devoting themselves to mundane occupation? To this I say, man has many material wants. It requires the labor of a multitude to satisfy them. The Where's the God at? You see, he using philosophy. The length of Methuselah's life would not suffice were everyone obliged to exercise all the arts necessary to supply his physical wants. Meaning niggas is greedy. Meaning people don't have no morals. That's what he's saying. The study of philosophy can only be the portion of a small number. Were everyone to apply himself to this study, in a short time, human race would become extinct. Do you see the logic? Do you see why some niggas would want to trick some niggas to keep them working? Why he might know what he know, but he say, but if everyone to apply himself to that study of reason in a generation, in a short time, human race would be extinct. Cause niggas will be like me. Don't listen to Priest King. He ain't got no kids. Don't listen to Priest King. He rich. He'll work. If everyone would apply himself to that study in a generation, in a short time, the human race would be extinct. You see that? Maimonides had advanced in knowledge far beyond his time, and he was and still is considered the greatest man, not only of his nation, but of his age. Came to be treated as, hold on, okay, let's keep going. Okay, so yeah, he came to be treated as a heretic by the bigoted French Talmudists, right? And some of the Spanish rabbis, but nobody talking about the Bible. Nobody talking about the Torah. Again, we talking about Talmud and rabbis and rabbinical. You see? So they hated him for his invaluable work, The Guide to the Doubtful, written in Arabic, not in Hebrew, not in Yiddish, and translated into Hebrew, right? By Rabbi Samuel ben Tibin. They excommunicated the greatest person, you know what I'm saying? And caused the work to be burnt. But the more enlightened Spanish schools now supported it, but placed it under anathema. But placed under anathema his French antagonist. So understand that it's a schism between the Spanish Spanish Jews and the French, which is they call them the Ashkenazi, or they call them the Germans. You see? So let's keep going. At length, the determined conduct of the Spanish rabbis affected it after his death, and a deposition was sent in 1232 to this motherfucker grave. They sent it to his grave to ask him for permission, because that's what they talk about in the Talmud. They talk about how to forgive people of debts when you're dead. It ain't got nothing to do with no religion. You see? So, hold on. Did they say? Okay, here we go, right here. Rabbi David Kamichi endeavored in vain to reconcile their schism at length. Now, he also said David Kamichi wrote the Psalms. You see, Moses wrote the first 5 books, which is this Moses Naimedes. You see, from Moses until Moses, there was not a Moses. Huh? What? He is now acknowledged by all Jews to have been the greatest man among them since Moses. He even overshadowed Rashi.
Why? Because he wrote the Torah. He wrote the first 5 books. He gave them the Pentateuch. His death, which took place in 1204, was considered a national misfortune by the Egyptians as well as the Jews. They observed a general mourning for 3 days and called it lamentable, a lamentable year. So now you got to understand the Muslims don't have no book, but you got a dude that's here as close with the Egyptians that wrote this whole thing. I don't want to hear nothing about how did he get into Egypt and how did the Egyptians get close. He right here with these niggas. This is all a trick of some rich niggas. You see? You see? You see? It's all a trick of some rich niggas. Let's keep going. What else I got for y'all up in this joint? What else I got for y'all up in this joint? What's this? Boy, I got so much work, boy. I got so much work. But I think I'm going to stop it right there, boy. No, I'm going to give y'all one more thing. Hold on. I'm going to give y'all one more thing. Because now we done introduced David Kamichi. So I just want to show you who... I know I got to get that book, The History of Alabama. Always. I want to show you David Kamichi and how David Kamichi wrote the Psalms. Y'all don't understand this when he be saying shit like this. David Kamichi. I don't know how to spell it. I'm going to be wrong. David Kamichi, this guy right here. And his book is called The Psalter. Right? The Psalter. They got the PDF and everything. David Kamichi responds to Christianity in his Psalms commentary. He wrote the Psalms. You see? Braddock on Genesis. Like these niggas is writing this as a go. You see? So the same dude that was trying to keep Moses, you know what I mean? Keep Moses from having a schism. David Kamichi, that same dude, he writing, they mentioning him because he's a major figure. This is David. David wrote the Psalms. So David got so much pull, he tried to stop the schism. He reconciled the schism. You see that? All these niggas is writing little pieces of this book that becomes what we call the Pentateuch or the Old Testament. But they don't believe it. They believe in reason. You see? They believe in reason. Where is it at? Intelligence and reason. These are the real Jews. Come on, man. Come on, man. We're gonna kill that right there. We're gonna stop it right there. We're gonna kill that right there. I'm good right there. I'm good with that right there. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. We're gonna save some. Cause it ain't even nothing else to save. It ain't even nothing else to save. It ain't nothing else to save. They did. You know what I'm saying? They did. They did. They did. Everybody, that's the thing about it. Shout out to Walter Williams. Everybody already knew Walter Williams was on that real. Like they knew what he was saying was real, but they didn't know how to explain it. Like nobody can explain what he's saying. I just broke it down. I just showed you what he was saying and how it all comes together. You see? That's it. I just showed you how it all comes together. You know what I'm saying? But they're philosophers. And if you see what the dude Moses was saying, he was saying that everybody can't even be a philosopher. Everybody can't even be rich. We would destroy the whole motherfucking culture, the whole humanity. You know what I'm saying? So that's what so they came up with this type of scheme to play it. So again, I feel like I gave you the who. I gave you the who was the like who were the Jews? Why would you become a Jew? What's the reason for being a Jew? I showed you where they live in the cities. in the towns. Like, come on. I showed you all of that. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. What didn't I show you? Hold on. I showed you where they live. I showed you how they get their money. They barons. I showed you what it means to be a baron. You can't be a baron, or you can't be a winery if you ain't underground. You can't be a jeweler if you ain't underground. You see what I'm saying? I showed you why that's important, because you got two different cultures. You got a culture of above ground people. We're gonna get into the Christians tomorrow. We're gonna get into the Christians tomorrow. We're gonna talk about the Babylonian captivity and how Babylonian captivity ain't got nothing to do with no fucking Hebrews. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's all something different and shit. The Babylonian captivity ain't got nothing to do with Hebrews. They just hijacked it. But I wanted to break the Jewish part down so y'all can understand where we left off yesterday. Y'all can have the full, complete understanding of why you kick some people out your city, and then why you might get tired of getting kicked out some cities. Because it's hard to just, like Cuz keeps saying, like, they in everybody Bible. They in the New Testament, the Old Testament, they in the motherfucking King, they in the Torah. I mean, what's the shit? The Quran. How did they do that? Because they could. It was nobody else doing nothing. So they just did it. They just did it. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to show y'all yesterday. Like, the Hebrew Israelites is a British psyop. That's what I was trying to show y'all about how when they got kicked out of Spain, now they crypto. Now they want to mix the Bible up. Now they want to make a Bible, and they want to add the Bible to whatever the Catholics is doing. Because remember, he said they don't want you to be mad at them at this particular stage. They want you to be nice to them. They don't want you to keep kicking them out. You see? So I'm gonna end it here, y'all. It's been 2.5 hours. If y'all got any questions, I'll definitely answer. But I think that was it. I think I did a good job there. I really think I did a good job. I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't know. So if y'all got any questions, I'll definitely answer. There you go. I think I did a good job on that. I don't know. Oh, the book. I thought I showed the book. My bad. I thought I showed it when he asked it. It's called The History of Jews. The History of Jews in Spain and Portugal. Yeah. So yeah. Nobody told you today I love you. Love being in love with you. Peace to the guys. Peace to the goddesses. We can come right back and have an after party if I want. We can talk about anything. But salute back in the defenders. Salute the resistance. You see, it's a mind game. These Hebrew Israelites on the corner don't know what they doing. They just a part of the mind game. Pause. Peace. Oh yeah, they customers. They dope fiends. That's what they is. They dope fiends. The Hebrew Israelites on the corners is dope fiends, and they don't know why they doped up, but they are. It is. I just showed y'all why. Weirdos. Peace.